You reach for it without thinking. A piece of chocolate, a handful of gummy bears, a second cookie when you swore you'd stop at one. It happens so fast that by the time your brain registers what your hand is doing, it's already too late. The sugar is in your mouth, and it tastes like relief. You've probably blamed yourself for this. Weak willpower, poor discipline, a character flaw that other people somehow don't have. But the real answer is far stranger. Because this isn't weakness. This is a survival program running inside you that is millions of years old. And it was never designed to stop. Your relationship with sugar didn't start at a birthday party when you were 5. It started on the African savanna, somewhere between 2 and 3 million years ago, when your earliest ancestors were scanning the landscape for something that wouldn't kill them. Think about that world for a moment. There are no grocery stores, no refrigerators, no guaranteed meal waiting at the end of the day. You wake up every morning with one job: find enough calories to stay alive until tomorrow. And the world is actively trying to kill you while you do it. In that world, sweetness was information. Sweetness meant ripe fruit. Ripe fruit meant calories. Calories meant survival. If something tasted sweet, it was almost certainly safe to eat, and dense with the energy your body desperately needed. If something tasted bitter, it might be poison. Your tongue was your first and most important survival tool. This is why your brain doesn't just register sweetness, it rewards it. The moment sugar hits your tongue, your brain releases dopamine. That's the same chemical released during sex, during social bonding, during any experience your brain categorizes as essential to survival. Dopamine doesn't just feel good. It feels important. It feels like something you need to do again. Neuroscientist Kent Berridge at the University of Michigan spent years mapping the brain's response to sugar and made a discovery that should change everything you think you know about craving. He found that the brain has 2 separate systems at work. One system generates the feeling of wanting. The other generates the feeling of liking. And here is the part that matters. Wanting and liking are not the same thing. You can want something desperately without liking it much at all. This is why you can eat an entire bag of chips while barely tasting any of them. This is why you reach for a third cookie even when the second one was already disappointing. Your wanting system has been activated, and it doesn't care whether you're actually enjoying yourself. It just keeps pulling you forward. Berridge's research showed that the wanting system in the brain is far more powerful than the liking system. And sugar, more than almost any other substance, is extraordinarily good at activating wanting without ever fully satisfying it. Every bite triggers another wave of desire. The system doesn't reach an off switch. It just resets and fires again. Now multiply that by 10 million years of evolution and ask yourself, was this creature ever designed to stop? Your ancestors who felt the strongest pull toward sugar were the ones who ate the most when food was available. They stored the most fat. They survived the longest famines. They lived to have children who inherited the same urgent, relentless craving. And those children had children. And those children had children. You are the descendant of the ones who couldn't stop eating sugar. The ones who could take it or leave it? They are not here. Evolution filtered them out during the first drought. But here is where the ancient program collides with the modern world and produces something your brain was never equipped to handle. For 99% of human history, sugar was rare. genuinely rare. You might find a patch of wild berries. You might steal honey from a beehive at enormous personal risk. Sweet, calorie-dense food existed in the world, but finding it required effort, danger, and luck. Your craving was calibrated to chase something that was genuinely hard to catch. Then, in the span of a few hundred years, a blink in evolutionary time, everything changed. Sugar became cheap. Then cheap became everywhere. Then everywhere became unavoidable. Researcher Richard Johnson at the University of Colorado published research showing that the average American now consumes somewhere between 17 and 22 teaspoons of added sugar every single day. For most of human history, that number would have been closer to 2. The biological system that evolved to chase a rare and precious resource is now being flooded with that resource every hour of every day. And the system doesn't recalibrate. It doesn't slow down or reevaluate. It just keeps doing what it evolved to do. It keeps wanting. This is where a psychologist named Kelly McGonigal enters the picture. Her research on willpower, which she wrote about extensively, revealed something counterintuitive. The harder you try to suppress a craving, the stronger it gets. When you tell yourself you cannot have something, your brain treats that prohibition as a threat. And what does a survival-oriented brain do with a threat? It focuses on it. It thinks about it constantly. It prepares to overcome it. This is why the diet that bans sugar entirely often ends in a binge. Your brain spent 3 weeks under siege. When the walls came down, it didn't eat one cookie. It ate the whole box. Not because you failed, because your brain was doing exactly what it was designed to do. Fight for the resource it believed was being taken away. The wanting system doesn't respond to logic. It responds to availability and scarcity. And right now, in the modern world, it is receiving 2 completely contradictory signals at the same time. Sugar is everywhere, triggering constant wanting. And diet culture says it is forbidden, triggering even stronger wanting. Your brain is caught in a loop it cannot escape because it was never built to live in this environment. So what does the science actually say about navigating this? Researcher Ashley Gearhart at the University of Michigan developed the Yale Food Addiction Scale, the first tool to clinically measure addictive-like eating behaviors. Her research found that ultra-processed, high-sugar foods trigger patterns in the brain that are structurally similar to what researchers observe with substance dependency. Not identical, but similar enough to suggest that for a significant portion of the population, the inability to stop eating sugar is not a matter of character. It is a matter of neuroscience. Gearhart's work doesn't mean you're powerless. It means the fight you're in is harder than anyone told you, and you've been blaming yourself for losing a battle that was never fair. Because here's the thing no one told you when you ate that second cookie. Your brain did exactly what it was built to do. It spotted a calorie-dense resource. It flooded your system with a chemical signal that said, "Eat more." It overrode the part of you that said, "Stop." It was efficient. It was ancient. It was perfect. The problem is that you are not living in the world that brain was built for. You are a savanna-adapted organism standing in a fluorescent-lit grocery store aisle with an entire wall of products engineered by food scientists to hit the exact neurological sweet spot your ancestors evolved to respond to. These products were designed in laboratories to be more rewarding than any food that ever existed in nature. They are not competing with your willpower. They are competing with your evolution. And they were built specifically to win that competition. This doesn't mean change is impossible. It means the strategies that work are the ones that work with the brain's ancient wiring rather than against it. Removing temptations from your immediate environment exploits the brain's sensitivity to availability. Eating regular meals reduces the scarcity signal that sharpens craving. Understanding that a craving lasts roughly 15 to 20 minutes, whether you eat or not, gives you a window of information rather than an emergency. But none of that changes what you are. You are the product of millions of years of selection pressure that ruthlessly favored every ancestor who could not stop eating when something sweet was in front of them. That drive is in your cells. It is in your dopamine pathways. It is in the way your hand moves before your conscious mind catches up. The next time you reach for the second cookie, that is not weakness reaching through your fingers. That is every ancestor you ever had. Every one of them who survived a famine. Every one of them who made it through another brutal year. All of them reaching together. Making sure that you, of all the possible versions of you that could have existed, are the one who is still here. You reach for it without thinking. And now you know exactly why.